मुझे मरना है. Yes, I'm talking about suicide podcast, which I stopped doing after the second episode that aired on 23rd of Jan 2025. And today I watched my first and second podcast episodes. The first one was in English, the second one was in Hindi, and I was so disappointed to see that the content is so good, but the camera is not good. So in the second podcast episode, literally I'm like, the camera is here. It's cutting my, like, it's showing my eyes and then it's not showing the forehead part or the head part. And I'm so engrossed in talking about suicide that I did not bother. And recently I have like one another of my fear, which is that is what? That is not being able to watch yourself. Yes, I can't watch myself speaking or talking or go back and review my videos or reels or podcast or pictures. I don't watch my pictures. I don't see how I look, what I did. So my editors do. In the past year, I happened to interview few awesome people, and the editors were editing it, and I was not at all able to see what I said, what I did, go back, review, because I'm so scared from within. Oh my God, I don't know how it went. So I was not able to do that. So today, because I edited the episode, yeah, I decided to edit it myself. And when I did that, I overcame that fear, which helped me. And today I thought, oh my God, why have I left it? Why did I leave making the podcast episodes on suicide? The title itself was a warning sign, Mujhe Marna Hai, and everybody thought that, oh my God, I am contemplating suicide, but that was not the case. So, but I thought about it. Of course, it's been a year or more than that, because today is 19th of Feb 2026. So after a year, I think, okay, I don't want undue attention or traction around Mujhe Marna Hai. So I changed the topic. Jeena Zaroori Hai. Yes. And why it is Hindi? Because of course I belong to a place which is India, and we speak Hindi. So of course the topic name will be Jeena Zaroori Hai. Okay, it's important to live, is what I mean to say. So, as I had promised earlier, the first episode was in English, the second was in Hindi, and the third one is, as you can see, I'm speaking in English, so it's in English. I had done a lot of research, as I told earlier, and eventually, because I don't know, I got some opinions about it, because it's a very sensitive topic. Why are you trying to uh, create or build something around it? Don't do that. So somewhere I got, I would say, rerouted, and I didn't do it. But now again, when the final exams are back, the childrens are under pressure, parents are under pressure, everybody is under pressure, because it's March coming in and it's year end, and the sales people have their commitments. Everybody, everybody has to perform, everybody is getting reviewed, unlike few of us who don't bother. So and I won't say that's a privilege, that's not a privilege, but yeah, we are getting reviewed or trolled by different people at different places for different reasons. Everybody knows that. So I thought, why not? It's a good idea to redo something which I love doing. And when I watched my first and second podcast, I was so happy. I was so happy that the content is good, everything is good. And yes, today when I was thinking, oh my God, I need to get dressed up because I have to make a podcast episode. When I watched my first podcast episode, which was very raw, as if I am not trying to achieve something in life, and I'm like very sad and laid back and everything. and I saw myself without a cream, lotion, moisturizer, anything, making my first podcast episode, I got another kind of energy, a very different kind of energy was like flowing through my body. And I was like, oh my God, yes, I can do that. If I've done this before. So sometimes you yourself motivate um, your journey. Sometimes when we think, oh my God, this looks very tough, you can go back, look at what you did before, and then get the energy from your younger self, which I did today, because that's me in 2025 Jan. Year in 2026 Jan, I'm a year older. Okay. So a year younger inspired me, and here I am with my third podcast episode in the playlist Suicide Mujhe Marna Hai. So I won't change the playlist name, it will remain Mujhe Marna Hai, but the episode name, what I've done is Jeena Zaroori Hai episode 1, Jeena Zaroori Hai episode 2, and there goes 3, 4, 5, 6. I wish and pray that I complete this series. But today I have something very, very interesting. Um, I come here with suicide figures in India. Yes, that is very important. And I'm not. Yeah, so National Overview 2023. Total suicides 1,71,418 people died by suicide in India, a slight rise 0.3% compared with 2022. Suicide rates standard measure 12.3 per 1 lakh population, rate used for comparisons across state. So, gender breakdown, men approximately 1,24,730 deaths, women's around 46,648 deaths, transgender individuals a small number, 10s reported. This means male suicide numbers are roughly 2.5 to 3 times those of women in official reports. Okay. Age group patterns. According to NCRB data, age group approximately share of suicides 18 to 30 years is 32.8% approximately of total. 30 to 45 years 32.5% approximately. Under 18 lower but non-zero. Notable stressors like exams, families, relationships. The young adult population 18 to 45 constitutes over 65% of reported suicides, showing how prevalent emotional, social, and economic stress is among youth and working age adults. Causes and risk categories. Major reported causes in 2023: family problems, approximately 31.9%, illness including mental health conditions, 19%, drug or alcohol addiction, approximately 7%, marriage or love related issues, 10% approximately, unemployment, 1.8%, failure in exams, especially among children, 1.4%, financial or indebtedness, 3.8%. Occupation or status, women who are housewives, approximately 51.6% of female suicides. Please note this point. I'll come back on this. Students and unemployed women, significant shares. Next, mental illness factor. Mental and chronic illnesses are a significant and increasing component, especially among people aged 30 to 45 years. Now, state-wise and regional data. States with highest number 2023, Maharashtra, approximately 22,687. Second is Tamil Nadu, approximately 19,483. Madhya Pradesh, third, approximately 15,662. Karnataka, approximately 13,330. West Bengal, approximately 12,819. These 5 states account for approximately 49% of total suicides in India. Suicide rate per 1 lakh population adjusted. Some regions with higher suicide rates are, now let's talk about regions. Andaman and Nicobar Island, approximately 49.6%. Sikkim, approximately 40.2%. Kerala, approximately 30.6%. Pondicherry, approximately 28%. Telangana, approximately 27.7%. States with low reported rates. Some states report very low rates, but these are flagged as requiring cautious interpretation due to possible reporting differences. They can have reporting differences, Bihar, approximately 0.7%. Manipur, approximately 0.8%. Nagaland, approximately 1.6%. State figures reflect numbers of suicide versus rate differences, two distinct measures. Comparison and trends. India's overall suicide numbers have been among the highest in the world for decades. Some global studies show declines in suicide rates over long periods, for example, 30 years, especially among women due to policy changes, yet absolute numbers remain high. Now, what is the key takeaway? Key takeaways for awareness campaign? Yes, because I'm trying to create awareness around suicide when I'm talking about statistics. So, highest impact group, who is getting impacted? What is the age range? 18 to 45. Majority of suicide death. Majority of suicide deaths. Men significantly higher recorded rate than women. Housewives and daily wage earners notable. ओके तो मतलब इन्होंने हाउसवाइफ्स और डेली वेज को एक ही कैटेगरी में रखा है. वाओ. Notable proportions in specific categories. States like Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu, high absolute numbers, common triggers, family and interpersonal issues, chronic or mental health illnesses, economic hardships, and unemployment, relationship problems, and social stress. The stress, where is the stress? Now, 18 to 45 is a very broad category because kids also fall in that. Young people from 25 to 32 also fall in that. And then there are married couple trying to have baby, set up a family, buy a house, getting married, earning well, buying a car, everything falls under that. Then when you start talking about 45, like after, if we specifically talk about women after 45, the menopause thing is aggravated. So we say, oh my God, you're cranky or this or that, but I think it's helping because you are expressing what you're feeling loudly, and hence the problem hidden inside is revealing, and you're not prone to suicide after 45. I think that's the logical way to look at it. So, but what can we do? How can we prevent that? So let's understand it scientifically, which is very important, and let's create awareness and save lives, because I want to save a life if I can. Okay, so how the brain function and suicide is related. Research suggests that suicide is not simply a decision. It is often connected to the brain functioning. Studies which I am about to share includes research from Columbia University, and that shows that people who attempted suicide but were saved and then the tests were made were found with reduced blood flow to the prefrontal cortex, lower metabolic activity in brain areas responsible for decision making, planning, problem solving, executive functioning. PET scans observed diminished serotonin activity in the prefrontal cortex, the area that helps us regulate impulses and think through consequences. When this region underperforms, a person's ability to devise alternative solutions, regulate emotional pain, think long term, then that person's brain becomes compromised. In contrast, less lethal, more impulsive attempts sometimes showed relatively higher blood flow, suggesting a difference between impulsivity and deeply planned attempts. Researchers also noted impaired verbal fluency, reflecting executive function deficits that limit a person's ability to generate solutions when overwhelmed by suicidal thoughts. Sometimes it's not that a person wants to die. Sometimes the brain temporarily loses access to flexible thinking, and that is treatable. We have already spoken about the statistics, okay, and India records over 1.7 lakh suicide deaths annually, which I already spoke about, right? And the states which are reporting low on the figures can also be a reason that the suicides are not reported. So that can also be a reason for Bihar, Manipur, Uttar Pradesh, Lakshadweep, Ladakh, okay? As we spoke, men account for significantly higher numbers than women. Young adults between 18 to 45 form the majority, okay? But these statistics are not just numbers. Each number is a family, a story, a nervous system overwhelmed, okay, or overburdened. Now, let's talk about risk factors. What are the risk factors? Commonly reported causes include family conflict, illness, okay, we talked about earlier, substance abuse, financial stress, academic pressure in youth, okay, but we just saw the percentage of the academic pressure is very low, okay, so that needs to be combined with family issues, that there's problem in family, okay, and then the stress of studies. Overall, it makes a package deal for attempting suicide, okay? But beneath all these is often one common factor. And what is that factor? Hopelessness combined with impaired cognitive flexibility. When someone feels there are no options, suicide may appear as the only escape. Our job as a society is to restore options. So I alone can't bring a change. Each one of us has to contribute, okay? So today in this episode, I really want to focus on prevention and what actually helps. If brain metabolic activity and executive functions are involved, prevention must include strengthening brain and emotional resilience. Evidence supported protective factors include physical movement. Regular exercise increases blood flow to the brain. Serotonin activity, neuroplasticity, nutrition, a diet rich in omega-3 fatty acids, whole foods, can save you from committing or attempting suicide. Micronutrients supports cognitive and emotional regulation. Sleep deprivation significantly impairs prefrontal functioning, impulse control, emotional regulation. Let's talk about cognitive stimulation. Learning new skills strengthens executive circuits. Stress regulation, mindfulness, therapy, breath work reduces cortisol and improve frontal lobe control. Social connection. Connection is one of the strongest protective factors against suicide. Usually people cut off from everybody else. That's again a sign, a red flag. What to do if someone is struggling? Very good point. Yes, let's discuss that. If someone expresses suicidal thoughts, let's take them seriously. Let's not shame them or dismiss them. Stay with them if risk is immediate. Encourage them professional help. In India, you can call 14416 National Mental Health Helpline. If there is immediate danger, contact emergency services and remember asking someone, are you thinking about harming yourself? Does not plant the idea it can reduce risk. Don't think asking this question would plant the idea, okay? So, first of all, Or last but not the least, let's not judge them. Suicide is not weakness, it is often a moment where emotional pain meets reduced cognitive flexibility, and both can be treated. If you are listening to this and struggling, you are not broken. Your brain is just overwhelmed, and overwhelm is a temporary thing. There are options even if your mind cannot see them right now. Stay here, reach out. Let someone help you think until your brain can think clearly again. So do write to me at preeti@blinkofan eye.in, or you can put a comment, or you can tell me what do you think about this episode. Does it make sense? And as I said, I'll come back on the 18 to 45 thing, the 18 to 45 bracket. I will come back on that in my next podcast episode in this playlist, Mujhe Marna Hai. Or you can say, call it Suicide Podcast. Thank you so much. Have a great day.